Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Cintrone. I want to welcome you to week 5 of electronic health records. Let's scroll down to week 5. And this week we will be covering master patient index and electronic health record components. So let's open up our week, and here is the lecture for this week, the RISE presentation that you're able to work through. And then below that, we have our Word document of the lecture that you can print up and save for future reference. Our discussion for this week is we're going to be discussing the MPI, Master Patient Index, and our Electronic Health Record, EHR. So we're going to compare and contrast the differences between MPI and EHR, and you're going to choose one of the legal requirements that you learned about in the lecture that you feel is the most important in regards to patient safety. You're going to explain pros and cons of your choice and describe in detail why you believe this requirement is the most important. Okay? So remember, when you're posting your discussion, you want 150 words at least in your initial post. And please make sure that you are participating in discussion on at least 3 days during the week, and you are responding to at least 3 of your classmates, and that your responses are high quality, at least 4 to 5 sentences, that you are engaging with them, asking them questions. Try to add a video, an article, anything you can that helps to engage your classmates, helps to further the discussion and keep the discussion moving along. Okay? We have a quiz this week, so make sure that you look in discussion because I will have a quiz review in there. And remember, you always have 2 attempts, so if you don't like the grade that you received on your first attempt, go back, look at the feedback, and then go ahead and take the quiz again. All right? And this is our last week of our portfolio project using the simulation. So we have performing quality checks, the screenshots, and we have a reflection. So what I want to do is pull up our directions for this week. So here is week 5, and remember, our directions can be found in the week 1 folder. Okay? So hopefully you printed those up. So week 5, the scenario here is basically you are off sick and you had a coworker covering for you. All right. And that coworker forgot to log off the computer at the end of the day, left the patient's registration forms face up on your desk. And there were 3 patients that he entered into the system. Since you're responsible for managing the EHR system for accuracy and quality, you need to log into the EHR system and verify that the patient's information was entered correctly. So this week's going to be a little bit different. You're not entering anything. You're just verifying that your coworker entered the information correctly. That's all you're going to do. So if we go back here, when you click on, you're going to see our 3 patients' insurance registration forms. So what you need to do is print them up. I think that's the easiest thing to do. So here's Joseph Bello, and all of his information is here. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to, and there's 3 of them. There's Joseph, Thomas, and Jeffrey. And you're going to go ahead and get into your simulation. Begin the same thing. You're going to put in your email, put in your password, and you have your little friend here who's going to help you out. Remember, I said it doesn't matter what you put in as your password. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit different this time because the patients have already been entered. So you're going to click on the medical tab. And here you find your first patient, Joseph Bello. So she's telling you, click on Joseph Bello and review his information to verify that it was entered correctly. So you're going to click on him, and you see all your blue is already filled in. So you are going to take that sheet here that you printed up, and you're going to go line by line, and you're going to make sure that the information is correct. So, for example, his date of birth, 1/3/76. You're going to go in here, 1/3/79. Well, that is not correct. So you are going to make whatever you want to do. Highlight it. If that's best for you, take a highlighter and highlight it. It's incorrect. So then what you're going to do, you're going to go through every line and mark down all the errors. Then you're going to go to the insurance tab and you're going to do the same thing. Go through all the lines and you're going to highlight all your errors. Okay? You're going to check through each, all the errors. All right, so it's going to say review the patient's information, compare the information above to that on the patient's registration form. Determine what fields above were entered incorrectly or are missing. Be sure to review the information on the personal and insurance tabs. When you're ready to identify the errors, click Edit. So you're going to go to Edit. And do you see these bubbles here? So we saw that the date of birth was incorrect. So you're going to check that. So you're going to check whatever bubbles are wrong. I'm not saying these are wrong. I'm just showing you that you can check these bubbles. This is the screen that you are going to take a screenshot of. Okay? Whatever you mark wrong. Okay? You're going to check these bubbles and you're going to take a screenshot of this screen. You are going to do 3 screenshots. So we're going to go back. Patient 1, patient 2, patient 3. You're going to do all 3 of these patients. So once you do that screenshot, you're going to click Submit. Please verify you've checked the patient's information and taken a screenshot of your selections in the box below, then click Submit again. You're going to click Submit again, and it says, nice try, but that's incorrect. Click Continue to review the corrections needing to be made by the patient's entry. Okay, so remember in the last time I told you if you see these red marks, you know that it's wrong. So if she's telling you, nice try, but you were incorrect, log out, log back in, and you know you have to start over because you did something wrong. Okay, she's pretty good where she'll tell you if you did it right or not. So here she's highlighting that this is what, okay, these are the right answers. So if it was entered incorrectly, then you know that it's wrong. Then when you have Joseph done, then you're going to go back to the medical tab and you're going to start with the next patient. Okay? 3 screenshots for this week. All right. So we're going to get out of this assignment and we're going to go to the reflection. Let me pull up the directions. After submitting the screenshots on a Word document in 250 words or more, you're going to reflect and respond to the following. Explain the importance of accuracy when entering patient information into the EHR system and use examples from the activity above to support your answer. What errors did you see? And we just showed you that he had the wrong date of birth. There's many other errors. Use some of those examples. Okay? Those are the examples that they're talking about. Okay, the date of birth was entered incorrectly. The social security number was entered incorrectly. Those are the errors they're talking about. Describe any issues, privacy, security, or HIPAA violations that you feel violated the protection of patient information while you were out. Then give recommendations so that these violations don't happen in the future. So, what happened? What HIPAA violations were violated while you were off? Your coworker, what did she do incorrectly? What HIPAA violations happened? You read it in the scenario here. What HIPAA violations did she commit, and what would you recommend to fix them? Okay. Then analyze the legal consequences and risks associated with the acquisition, retention, and distribution of any patient information. So, what are legal consequences that happen if you violate HIPAA? We've talked about that in the past. We talked about it when we talked about the storage records in Alamo. Okay? And then explain how security, privacy, and HIPAA will impact your career. So you have 4 things you have to talk about in this. This reflection is one of those that we're going to use in our portfolio project in week 7. Okay, we had the one from last week in week 4 and the one from this week are the 2 reflections you're going to submit in your final portfolio project. Okay, so if you get 100% on this, you're halfway through your final portfolio project. So, as a recap for week 5, you have your lecture, your discussion on the MPI and the EHR. You have your quiz. Make sure you look at the quiz review. You have your screenshots. There's 3 of them. If you look in the discussion, I have an example of what you need to submit. Make sure you take off that little lady at the bottom so we don't see her face. And you have your reflection. Okay? Any questions, please be sure that you reach out, you call, text, email me. I'm always available to help you out. All right? Have a good day.